Hey guys, and welcome to the very first episode of the Bespoke Trader interview series. This trader managed to make over $40,000 for his very first payout with us, which is absolutely incredible. Please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell, as that really helps us as a channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, and welcome to the very first video in the Bespoke Trader interview series. So today I'm going to get right into it, and we have our very first guest. And if you would just like to introduce yourselves, tell us all who you are.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Arbaz. You guys might know me as AA Bands FX. I have been kind of in the space recently, as of recently. So yeah, super excited to be here. Bespoke is my second firm that I've got funding at, and I'm actually waiting on a payout right now. And yeah, super excited to be here.
Love that. So how old are you?
I'm actually 22. I just turned 22 actually.
Okay,
May
so
3rd. So it was my birthday pretty recently.
okay,
But
well, happy
I am 22.
belated.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm 22. I'm from the East Coast here in the United States.
Okay.
I actually graduated college about 6 to 8 months ago. So I
Okay.
was studying. Yeah, I have a bachelor's of science in biology and a minor in chemistry.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was
So you're smart
yeah.
as well.
I appreciate it. I'd like to think so. But yeah, so I was actually studying to be a doctor, a physician. So I was gonna go to medical school,
Okay.
but I had to change of plans, change of passions, things like that. Now we're here, I guess.
I hear
Right.
it. I mean, I've got 2 law degrees, and I know I'm never going to use them. So I get it.
Yeah, that's kind of how that's kind of how it is with society, I guess, and degrees and stuff like that. A lot
Yeah.
of them, it is what it is. So, um,
Yeah, no, I hear it. So what got you into trading? Like, when did you hear
Yeah,
about
for sure. For sure. So I've actually I've the term trading, especially forex trading, I've known about trading for a very long time,
it?
since
Okay.
I was kind of like in sixth, seventh grade. So this was like, 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
Obviously back then, prop firms weren't a thing. You had to, fund your own personal account, right? You have to go with the broker. But like back then the hype was kind of starting, it was all of the people that you kind of see in the industry kind of now, like Lambo Raul, all those people, like they were kind of starting out soon, kind of like showing those kind of results, right? So I was like, oh wow, like forex trading. So basically for me, it was kind of like I was trying to figure out an avenue to make money. And back then I was like, oh, like trying to make money. Then I would hear forex trading. I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. And then I just haphazardly just like leave it, because I was still a kid back then, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. And as I time went on, eighth, ninth, or not even eighth, ninth, like into my end years of high school, right, and then into college. You can really start to see the financial aspect of life, right? Those responsibilities start to come in, and you start to think like, like I need to find a way to have some type of income coming in. Regardless of a job, I just need some level of just sustainability, right? That's what we all strive for, right?
Yeah.
To survive. So then I was like, listen, like freshman, sophomore year, I was on a very different wavelength. The thing was, I started to realize this kind of early on, the whole, societal system, educational system of how, you go to school, get a degree, and then get
Yeah.
a job after. And then it just wasn't sitting right with me in terms of like, is this really going to be my life? Like, I'm going to have to work this whole time, just for what, pennies, while, the administration is making up, 300% ROI off my labor, right? Or whatever. And,
Literally.
freshman year and, sophomore year, I kind of like realized, like, I said this in one of my other interviews. Basically, like I walked into my lecture hall, right? And this was like chemistry 2 or something like that. And it's just like this huge hall of like, 300, 400, 500 people. And I just stood there, right? Like I came in kind of late. I think I just stood there, like everyone looked at me, and I just like, it felt like out of a scene of like The Matrix. You know what I mean? Like, no, seriously, it was just like, I was like kind of like really like everyone's doing the same exact thing, like,
Yeah.
and they're thinking the same exact thing. And it's like, if I want to be different, if I want to be at that level, the top 1%, the top, 0.1% is at, then I have to do something radically different. I had to take that risk to do something else, whether it be like e-commerce, SaaS, whatever it is, any other
Yeah.
niche, right? And then I was like, yeah, like I can't, like this is not for me. Everyone was just partying, drinking alcohol, 24/7. And that just like, I did that a little bit freshman year, I'm still pretty young, right? But then quickly, like the first like, 2, 3 times, it was just like, I realized like, okay, like this is kind of stupid. Like this is BS. Like I'm not trying to waste my time, doing this, when, I have, my family to take care of. My goal in the future, like I have to, I want to have those dreams of success, right? And it's like that quickly stopped. And then COVID hit, and then everything went online. And then what happened was for me was like after everything went online, and then with the impending pressure of I need to make money, I need to figure out how to make money, right? I was like, okay, like this time to serious up, time to become serious, like and figure something out. That's when I was like, okay, Forex, right? I was like, listen, like I've already know about Forex, I've seen the potential. Let me go into the field super hardcore now and put my mind to it. Because for me, it's like when I see the potential of something, especially this industry, because there's nothing better than Forex in my opinion, right?
I agree.
It's just exactly the scalability and the amount that you can make once you're at that high level is insane. You can't beat it. You know what I mean? And basically, everything went online. I was like, okay, I'm gonna teach myself this. So then I think I bought like some course from this guy in London. I think some
What was it called?
British guy. I don't even know. He's not even on any platform or anything. He was just like some Discord guy. And then he had it was and yeah, and basically like he would showed us like MT4, and then I think I was like oh my god, like I need to learn how to make that type of money, right? So I think I bought his course or something. He taught some really good stuff. It was like it was very basic. I had no at this point. Remember, I still don't know like anything on like what Forex is in terms of like technicals, like how to trade, like what indicators this, support this, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So then I kind of learned divergence. I learned some other things, some Bollinger Bands, like all this other stuff, right? And then the main thing was though. So regardless of strategy, the main thing that I learned was this was the first time I heard about FTMO. So this was about 2020. So basically in his first he was in his first video, he was like, okay, this is divergence. He was like, this is your goal as a trader. This is how you become successful and financially free. He was like, there's this company called FTMO, and what you can do is you can pay an evaluation fee. And then once you pay that, you have to pass with phase 1, phase 2, and they will give you a live, 100K, 200K, 50K, whatever account that you can get a profit percentage of. And my mind was blown. I was like, you can really, like, if you have the skill set, you can really pay an evaluation fee, get access to 6-7 figures or 6 figures, high 6 figures, right?
Yeah.
And then literally get a percentage cut of what you make on that. That's like a cheat code. That's literally the way to get rich fast. Game changer. So I was like, oh my God, like it blew my mind. So I was just like, I just had the visions. Like at that point, like my mind was like Lamborghinis, watching all that stuff. You know what I mean? But really, obviously in terms of like, more like the freedom, I was like, listen, like this is where I can really, if I focus on this, if I figure this out, I can really, elevate myself and become financially free. So I learned from him a little bit. I started, going on the charts, trying to learn how to trade, whatever. And then I was like, okay, it's screwed. I'm gonna start my FTMO challenge. And basically, what happened was I had some money saved up. I had like 2 lines of credit, and then I had around like I think 5-6K saved up or something like that. And basically, I was like, okay, like screw it. I can get these challenges. I can start them, right? And I literally got because I thought I was ready to trade. Then I thought, I had a strategy, whatever. And like I didn't know jack shit, And basically, I literally get the credentials and immediately I put like 10 lots of US 30 because to see if I can make the, pass phase 1 instantly or something like that. Super gambler mentality, and instantly reversed and went in the opposite way. And I blew the phase 1 in like literally 5 minutes. So then after that, I was like, there's no way this is true. So then I went and bought another 100K. And then again, mind you, this is 100K, right? So this is, and the thing about the Euro conversion, it's a little bit more, right? So it was about $570 for FTMO challenge, right? So basically I did that. I was like, there's no way, right? And then I literally 5 minutes later, I buy another phase 1, another 100K challenge. I did the same exact thing for some reason, and I blew the whole account in literally 5 minutes. And I was like, I sat there. I was like, why would I do this? I was like, what? Like, is there something mentally wrong with me to be able to do this? And then at that point, I did that, and then I took a step back. I went back on the charts. A couple weeks later, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready for some more. And I took like 3 more challenges, but obviously more concerned, not like gambler, right? So then I started to trade kind of normally, but I just still wasn't profitable. I just kept failing, So I failed around 5 FTMO challenges, and I was like, listen, I don't like certain aspects of FTMO. I need to figure out if there's other firms, right? And that's when I came across TFT. So this was about in August of 2022, right? So that's when I came across TFT. And then I was like, okay, like their rules are very good. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with them. And then over the span from August to I think January to February, right? February to end of March, right? I failed about 16 challenges with TFT. So I just kept putting in money in the challenges, kept losing. And then, I mean, obviously, like the journey is super hard. My mental, was just completely wrecked, not wrecked, but like it was a very big growth process. Right? You're going to go through those highs and lows, right? But mainly it's just like, if you fail, right, 8 challenges in a row, 10 challenges in a row, you're 9 challenges in a row, whatever, 10, you're just like thinking to yourself, like, is this really for me? Am I doing something wrong? Whatever. But it's like, this is just all part of the process. You got to understand.
It is.
And then basically, I got funded with TFT finally after a while. But the thing that was crazy was it was like a switch for me. It just clicked. Like it was like 0 profitability to instant profitability.
Yeah.
So I passed around like five, I mean, I got 5 challenges and I passed them all in a row in
Wow,
like same week in like 2 days,
that's
phase one, phase two.
amazing.
So that's then I literally got 500K funding in literally like 3 or 4 days.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then I mean, they were all split, right? So my goal was like I'm gonna get the payout right on each of the accounts, and then after all, just merge them in one.
Yeah,
So and I got my refund on all of the payouts, whatever. And then yeah, I mean, just after that, just trial and error, just losing, going through the mental stress, like figuring out my system, figuring out a strategy, figuring out how to be disciplined in terms of risk management, letting price
yeah,
action play out, whatever. And then and I've made 6 figures with DFT right now
that
in
is
terms of total
amazing.
payouts. And then I'm hoping in the next price action has been kind of bad this week. I'm hoping to reach 6 figures with you guys in another 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
I mean, I
So
definitely see it.
yeah, thank you. So and after I got the payouts on TFT, I was like, you know what, my next firm, and this is what brings us to Bespoke. I was like, Bespoke is, if you look at the rules, I'm telling you, like, in my opinion, I was like, TFT is number one, but you guys for sure, like in terms of the whole industry, like
Yeah,
top two, top three, like there's
love
no
that.
other firm doing what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
In terms of just even like customer service, right? Kaylor and Max, they do a really great job of
they're
just being super
amazing.
friendly, super supportive, to everyone in the Discord, and they're always willing to, because they're it's hard to manage a freaking prop firm, like for them to even be able to reach out and help us out, with any questions, whatever, it's insane. So
Yeah,
shout out to them. They do a really good job. They're making a really good prop firm. I'm really liking it, and that's why we're here now. Just my goal is to get more funding, get more payouts, just keep scaling.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
So,
love that. I love that. So,
thank you.
do you feel like, so you say that there was that switch? Do you feel
Yeah.
like you know what that switch is, or was it just literally something that it just clicked one day?
So it's really it just so that switch I can explain it to you. So basically that switch was it was following your strategy, just doing your trading, and then you just let everything just like let it take its natural course. You're not scared if your stop loss hitting, you're not worried about your TP hitting, you just like start, you just don't care anymore.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And then everything just like plays out, and you're like, oh, it just plays out if I just keep doing the same thing. So
yeah,
then after that, it's just like clockwork. You just keep doing the same exact thing over and over again, right? And then eventually, just based on the mathematics, the statistical aspect, it's going to play out.
yeah,
So that click for me was, I mean, I was just doing my same exact, and obviously I had to like tweak things, figure out like what wasn't working along the way, optimize things, and then yeah, I mean, I just kept doing the same thing, and I just kept passing. And then that for me, in terms of my whole journey, right, from when I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, take trading seriously, I marked the first day that I took an FTMO challenge. So I had that day
okay.
marked in my calendar and in my brain. It was December of like 2021, I think, right before 2022 happened.
Oh,
Right, that was my first day I took an FTMO challenge, and then I marked the first day I got a payout. So that kind of that range was like, okay, like this is how long it took me to become profitable, and that was about 1 year and 4 months. So
wow.
I did it really fast compared to other people. I mean, and not to say that my journey, like just because I did it fast, you can't either. It's just like everyone. The thing about trading and forex in general is like everyone goes at their own pace. It
100%.
could happen. It could happen for some dude in 3 months. Who knows? 4 months, right? Even
Yeah.
a week, right? And then it might take someone else like 4 years, 5 years, right?
Mhm.
And people keep asking me, you did this so fast, like whatever. What's your secret? It's like I have no secret. Like it just happened. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just it'll happen for you at your natural pace, and if you're destined to pass and be profitable, right? So yeah, that flick though, that switch to profitability, you can definitely feel it. That's just when you start passing stuff and like, oh, this is working now. I'm happy. I'm doing good. And then yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like gut feeling, intuition as well. So I mean, if you
Yeah.
ask some other traders, I'm sure they're doing interviews as well.
Yeah.
You can ask them about that question too. That's an
Yeah,
interesting one.
no,
That's an
I
interesting
get
point.
it. I completely get it. I mean, I've been trading for 8 years, and it was only like the
Wow.
last 3 or 4 years where it kind of clicked for me. Like it just wasn't, and then one day it just all works.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's wild, right?
I fully
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Do you feel like, so I feel like for you, like you said, like it happened very quickly in terms of like the
Yeah.
statistics of how long it usually would take. But do you feel like maybe because you already had that like that mindset anyway, that you knew you weren't gonna, go into the usual, like go to college, get a job, work your way up the ladder,
Yeah.
retire. You already had that kind of mindset, didn't you? So do you feel like having that prior to getting into trading had an impact on being able to do it so quickly?
For sure. So I'm gonna actually tell you. So I'm even though right, I don't necessarily agree with the university or the college system in terms of there's some degrees that I think are not worth it. Right. Obviously, in a professional field, being a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, computer scientist, right? Software engineer, all these
It's
stuff
necessary.
require high level. It's necessary, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is I did graduate with my degree. I didn't drop out or anything like that because I was like, listen, I'm not gonna be a dropout. Like, if you know what I
You've
mean?
got
Because
to get it. Yeah.
listen, you gotta get the degree because you can't be stupid, right? So
Yeah.
for me, it was like I definitely think the fact that I was able to understand on how to like what avenue to take in terms of like how to tackle it mentally, that for sure gave me an edge on why I was definitely able to pass maybe a little bit faster and become profitable a little bit faster than people normally would, because
Yeah.
I said, listen, like I have a science background, right? I was not like just half-assing like the information. I was delving deep into the material. I was trying to figure out exactly like X, Y, and Z, like how this works, how this interacts with that, like what are the statistics behind this. And because I was able to do that, I was able to kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work, and I was able to optimize things pretty fast.
Yeah.
So it's really about like tackling trading from an intelligent and intellectual perspective versus trying to half-ass it and not take it seriously.
Yeah.
Right. So basically that was my thing. So, in college as well, like, I was like, I'm doing my biology degree, whatever. And, when you're in college, in university, you know what I mean? Like of how you have to go through the BS of doing assignments, getting late submissions, having to stress, not sleep. I definitely think that like life experience in general kind of shaped in how I was going to tackle trading in terms of, I need to be serious about this. I need to put work into this. I need to, you know what I mean? And then not necessarily like tests and stuff like that, but like just kind of the life experience around college on like a higher level in terms of, trying to be a doctor, trying to chase that professional career. That's definitely what shaped my profitability point for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I love that. So that leads us nicely into the next question, which I think it might be a little bit deep for some people, but that's what we want here.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
do you feel like there was any significant experience generally throughout your life that maybe kind of shaped your mind into, because I think as a trader there's a lot of aspects that we need to have that people don't really see, such as like the patience, the discipline, just little things like that. Do you feel like there's anything significant in your life that happened that helped to mold you into that character that you need to be as a trader?
That's a great question. I actually think there is one answer for this, and I think it's kind of like the universal answer. It's not necessarily trauma, but you have to definitely have an understanding of you can't be emotional. This is number one. You really cannot have that emotional aspect tied to your trading, and that's why you see people so successful. Those people who are making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever, I'm telling you, like even me at my level, like it kind of sucks because once you have that zero emotion on the charts, like in your trading, it kind of translates to the rest of your life. It translates, right? So like, even like all my friends, all my family, they just tell me like you've changed so much. Like I'm sorry. Like so for me, like let me take a step back, right? It's just you have to go through experiences that make you understand that like things in life will happen for a reason, and it's not your job to stress about it in terms of like how can I fix this, how can I do that. It's just it's your job to adapt and deal with it and move forward in life, because if you don't move forward, you're going to be left behind, and then you're going to fail in life. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just, I mean, I'm not gonna obviously delve in too personal into my life. But, I've been through some shit in my life. I'm sure we all have trauma, we all have bad experiences, we all have family issues, whatever. But not having the money, being super stressed with the bills, feeling like I'm gonna go nowhere in life, that definitely put a pressure on me. Like, listen, like I need to figure out my internal emotions and figure out how to deal with them, translate that into my own mindset and then into trading. So like if you look at me, like in the start, obviously I was for sure like when I had my first 50K day, I was jumping out a little bit in my chair. You know what I mean? But after that, it's like now it's like I mean, when I got my payout with you, or when I locked in the payout with you guys, once that TP hit, it was 48K or something like that. Like I just didn't feel anything, because it's just clockwork, right? But it's like definitely going through those experiences to shape who you are in terms of not having that emotional connection, kind of having that, it's called like adonia, I think that's the term. Like you just don't really feel anything. It's super weird. Like I'm kind of like numb to things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know if that necessarily is healthy. I don't think it is, but like for trading, it's what you need. If you want to see the results at this level, like you need to have that zero emotion, which is unfortunate, but yeah, I really can't. It sucks, but
I definitely get it. I think it kind of does come with the, let's call it a career. It kind of comes with the career. I think we definitely need to have a balance in knowing when it's okay to be emotional, and obviously when we don't want to have that emotion, and when it's not necessary, like obviously for example on the charts. So I think it's really hard, and you kind of come to a point where you're like, okay, right, I need to kind of find a healthy balance between
Sure.
the two, because being too emotional, it's not great. But then having literally no emotions, it's great for the charts, but for everyone else around you, it might not be so great. So I think it's
Yeah.
definitely a journey in itself, kind of finding that no emotion self, but then also coming back and kind of finding
For sure.
the medium between the both.
Yeah, for
So yeah,
sure, for sure.
100% get it.
Yeah, and
100%
I
get
mean,
it.
I'm by no means, even at my level, like I'm pretty new to this, right? I'm still pretty young. Like I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate this
100%,
because
yeah.
it's just like for
100%.
example, like I was like, it was my girlfriend, right? She was, she always wants to spend time with me and like hang out and do whatever. And it's just like it's just it's not that I don't want to, but it's just like because I'm working, I'm doing trading, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out this stuff, and like I just actually got into an argument with her like a couple like before this interview. Actually, she was like, "You don't come see me, blah 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 blah," and I was just like, you know what I mean? Just like it's not that I don't want to, but just like
Yeah,
it's just like you got to figure out like you know what I mean. It's just like
I get
those
it.
things of like you're so
Yeah.
focused on trading your purpose, trying to do whatever, and then it's just like you really have to sacrifice those friends and familiar relationships. And actually, like I'm gonna talk about sacrifice for sure. In college, this is a big thing. Like I had to like I'm telling you like straight up, like I have like zero friends. Like I have like no friends. I have like 3-4 people like who I'm really close with, but it's like
Yeah.
even then, like even I did make obviously friends in college, but it's like I was never in terms of like my goal was not to know like 50, 500, 100 people, right? And just be kind of like, you know what I mean? Because it just feels kind of like it was like kind of pointless, And
You
it's
don't
like
need
I
to
was
know
putting
that
that
many
time
people.
in. Exactly. That social aspect in terms
Yeah.
of what everyone in college was doing, I was putting into the charts. Like I was putting into like
Okay.
figuring out how to be a profitable trader. Because I'm telling you, if you want to get a degree and learn how to be profitable, you have to sacrifice something. And for me, that
I
was
get it.
exactly. So I was like, listen, like you don't understand. Like I was in lecture and I'd be like trading. Like I'd be like on my computer. Yeah, like I would literally be in
I've
lecture,
been
like
there. Yeah.
yeah,
In
yeah,
drawdown
literally,
as
and then
well. You're in your lecture in
in
drawdown. You're trying
yeah,
to
literally.
concentrate.
Yeah. I've been in lecture literally trading, and it's like people just won't understand that, But to
Yeah,
get
no,
at
I
that
get
level,
it.
to see the results, right? Everyone wants to be a millionaire. Everyone wants to, make a lot of money, but it's like they don't understand what you have to put in to become at that level.
Yeah.
Even people look at me now, it's just like how do you do it? Whatever. It's like I just wanted it bad enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you wanted it as bad as and I mean, I had a friend, who I tried to, teach trading. I had to put him on, but he just didn't have it in him in terms of, I tried to give him like weekly calls to be like, hey man, like how are you doing? If you need help with anything, like you have to, you go on baby pips, go through the whole curriculum, learn it, and then come back to me. And he just wasn't doing that. He did a little bit, but then it's just like he would go party, and then he would say like, oh, I have work, but it's like, listen, you'll make the time if you want it bad enough. And that was my situation. I was so down bad in life. I was like, I need to figure this shit out now, or my life is ruined.
Yeah.
Like I need to do this now, or I will be in a spot for the next 3-4 years of like below broke. Because I had like no money in my bank account as well. In terms of, like I had the savings, right? But I was going through that. Then I maxed out my line of credit. You know what I mean? To buy challenges, and then it was so, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like that whole mental aspect. Just like and I was sitting in my car one day, like I was just like thinking like of like just the journey of just like how like like this was in the past when I wasn't profitable, right? It was just like man, like I was like borderline almost tearing up. It was so like sucks right now.
Oh.
I know when I make it though, it's gonna be good. And it's just like it's just so wild to see where I am now and how I was, like in the past. And it's just like, I'm sure you guys have that inspiration, like people who are watching this, right? I'm sure like my advice to you is I'm sure you guys have an inspiration, and it's just like you can't give up. You have to put in the work, and you cannot, like, no matter how, like for me, it was like no matter how long it takes. Like my parents, they were like, you need to stop trading right now. And I was like, what's your plan B? And I was like, there is no plan B. I need to do this now. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it was like, you have to just not give up. You have to persevere. You have to go through those low moments and really understand that it's all towards greater cause. Because I'm a living success story. And then like, if I can do it, if my success story is possible and manifests in real life, then you can as well. You know what I mean?
I love that.
So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I feel like obviously so far from what you've told us, your story is honestly, I didn't expect it. I didn't think that you would actually be so raw and open with it. And I just have to say, like, I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that this is the first interview.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it for you guys even having me on here. And I think it's kind of crazy too, like kind of history with the biggest payout coming in.
Literally.
And then the first interview, it's like okay, it's like kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's really, this is really, for sure, obviously, it's definitely a psychological journey compared to the strategy aspect, right? Like I would say, obviously, to be like a super master trader, you need a proficiency and you need to master every single aspect, like strategy,
100%.
psychology, whatever. But in those intermediate and beginning phases, it's all psychology, like 100%. You really have to conquer your inner demons and figure out like just like the risk management aspect, like everything, and I mean, again, like for example, it's like people like let me give a quick lesson on like risk management, right? So like people like want to make that fast money, right? They want to make that 10K in a day, 20K in a day, whatever, super fast. But it's like you got to realize like you have to again like risk a certain amount if you want to see those numbers, right? And it's like people come from that mentality of I'm gonna get rich quick, I'm gonna get rich fast, but that's just not inherently how trading works. At my level, I realized it's all about account longevity, and really it's just that risk management. You want to be able to last in this game as long as possible, because even you can have losing months, losing years. All the top traders, even stock traders in the US here, they have those losing quarters, right? Like I said, like losing months, years, 2 years, right? And then that's how it is. So it's really about that risk management aspect and having that being okay with that consistency aspect. And that's really my goal. It's about that consistency. I'm not trying to go too crazy. If I can hit those numbers, that's amazing. That's great. But my goal is like I'm not trying to risk to the point of where I'm just being a degenerate, just over leveraging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that should be your goal as well. Consistency. Like that's all it is.
Facts. Yeah, I love that as well. You mentioned like the whole psychology aspect. That is a very huge aspect for me. Like I always say, like psychology is 90%, if not more, of the whole trading. Like if you want to be a trader, 90% is focused on psychology. So do you focus a lot on psychology? Like, do you do a lot of like mindset, personal development work, reading, stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. So actively right now, I mean it's really about I read a lot of books actually. So I have I would show actually I can show like what I'm reading right now. I don't know if I have the book here. Oh yeah, right here.
Definitely.
It's called The Quiet Trader. It's a really good book. And you should check it out actually. It's super philosophical. And
I'm going to buy that right away.
This book will actually make you profitable. I'm not gonna lie, like it will make you profitable. If you like look at it from a deep perspective, it will make you profitable.
Yeah.
So it's really about this guy, he talks about his whole experience and how his journey of how he became profitable, but every page is like an excerpt from based on a philosophical quote, and it's like a statement that will like elevate you in terms of trading. So like for example, like, I could go to a page right now, and then like one is one chapter is like let's see here, in the deepest darkness light shines brightest, and then he talks about like how that relates to trading and like an intricacy about trading. It's super cool. Super cool. I think you'll like it. Go check it out. The Quiet Trader.
100%. I am quite as soon as we finish this interview.
Yeah. No, you need to. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. But in terms of active lifestyle and active mindset management, it's like this psychological aspect doesn't just like stay on the charts. It goes into my whole life. Like I bodybuild a lot, so I weightlift. I'm really about optimizing hormonal health, optimizing just health in general. I eat super healthy. I drink really clean water. I get a lot of sleep now. I mean, obviously, some part of it is due to the trading lifestyle, but it's like my goal is to be the best version of myself as I can be, and that just sticks with me. I'm always at better and better and better. So I can optimize my mind, optimize my trading. And it's like that's all you have to be. You have to come from that perspective of a growth mindset, always looking to improve and be a better person in every aspect of your life. And that's all it is. That's how you see the success. Like for me, like when I was at those intro levels, right? Like I never looked at someone who was more successful than me. Like when I was unprofitable, I didn't look at someone, on in the space, right, who's making 7 figures a day, 6 figures a day. I never looked at them and hated. I was never like, oh my God, like they're a scammer. Obviously there are, some sketchy people in the industry, but for me, it was like I was inspired. I was like, how can I get to that level? Like, what do I need to do? Because they're doing something radically different that 99% of people are not doing.
Yeah.
What do I need to do that the 99% are not doing so I can be that top 1%?
Yeah.
And all it was, again, it's the psychological aspect, sacrificing friends, family, not doing what everyone else is doing. And it's just like, having that active lifestyle, working out, eating clean, not drinking alcohol, not smoking weed, whatever. And it's like people, not vaping, right? People will do these stupid things. And it's just so bad for their health. And they're wondering like why they're depressed, why they're doing this. You're not getting sunlight. You're hitting an artificial chemical that goes into your lungs, right? Smoking that, it's like stupid, So it's like, it's really just about, being disciplined and having that mindset in every aspect of your whole life.
Yeah. 100%. And I love that you said that discipline in all aspects of your life is huge. And no one understands how big that is.
For sure. For sure. I mean, and again, that's again, if you go back to the statistics of the 99% versus the 1%, this is like what the 1% are doing. You have to radically be different if you want to be the top 1%. And that will get you the haters, that'll get you the doubt, whatever, you know. And that's in general, just being an entrepreneur, right? Like if like my family, they've, you know, they don't they've never been entrepreneurs, they've never done anything like that. So obviously, you know, when I told them like I'm gonna be a trader, I want to do this, they were like, this is a stupid idea. This is gambling. You're going to lose all your money. You need to have a job, a security, right? You can't take the risk. But it's like, to get to that level, you need to take the risk, because you're never going to get to that level if you don't take the risk. That's how life is, right? So, you know, it's really about, at the end of the day as well, like trusting yourself and trusting, you know, knowing yourself of who you are as a person. If I listen to my parents, if I listen to my friends, whatever, my family members, I would be in a really shitty spot right now if I just listen to what they said. You know what I mean? So it's like nobody knows what's best for you except you. So because you're your own person, right? So it's like exactly. So it's like I was like, you know, and that's the reason why like I was like, no, I'm gonna stick with this. I just had that, you know, that, and I was putting in work. Like it's not like I was, like I said, like talking about the half-assing. I was not half-assing this. I was literally cramming for exams, right? And every like minute of my day was on the charts.
Wow.
Like I was on the charts. Like I said this in my other interview. I was on the charts for 10 to 12 hours a day. Like literally from after my classes to like 4 a.m. And then I would just go to class in the morning, and then I would like my sleep was so irregular because I would just be sleeping whenever I could.
Yeah.
So I'd just be sleeping here and there, and then after class, and I'd just be as much time just maximized on the charts. You know, granted, obviously I couldn't get all A's. You know, I had to get like B's and stuff like that, right? Because it's just like not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just what it was. I had to put the work in. I had to, you know, really take this seriously to see the success. And it's like, more advice to you guys is like, you have to do the same exact thing to be successful. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. If you want to see results as fast as possible, see the fastest growth as fast as possible, you have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Right.
Facts. There's no.
I mean, I have a really good analogy actually. If you take two people, you have person A and person B, right? There's about 52 weeks in a year, right? And basically it's like, if you take person A, right? Let's say on the weekend, person A, all they do is like party. Like they party, they smoke, they drink, whatever. They're wasting their time, right? Just doing all that stuff. But person B on Saturday, right? I think this is smart. You have to utilize your weekends to your benefit. You don't want to waste your weekends just wasting time, right? Person B, however, puts, you know, 10 hours into a craft every week on Saturday, just one day a week, right? If you compare their growth at the end of the year, person B has 52 days worth of experience, knowledge, and skill set over person A in just 1 year. Wow. Think about it that way, right? So it's just like, that's all it is. It's all about consistency, putting the work in. Even it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Like you have to put a high level of work in, but it's like, if you can keep that consistency in like a week, maybe, because, you know, you might have a 9-to-5 job or whatever, just take one day out. It's like same thing for bodybuilding and muscles. You don't grow your huge muscles in a day, right? You have to, you know, it takes time. You have to go every single day for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And then, you know, you have the physique, you have the muscles, you look good, right? Same thing with trading, and same thing with anything in life. You know, you're not going to be a professional tennis player in a day, right? It takes decades to be like Roger Federer, you know, Rafael Nadal, whatever, right? So it's like, that's it. That's all it is, guys. That's my advice.
Just keep working.
Yeah, keep working, you know, and always try to be, you know, again, this is gonna sound kind of cocky, but it's like always try to be better than the person next to you in terms of, you know, I was mad when I saw someone, in terms of like, obviously I was motivated, but it was like a burning passion. I was like, I need to be better than you. You know what I mean? And again, that's that 1% mindset that you need to have to see the success. Yeah. You know? And it's like, even now, even at my level, I'm competing with all these, you know, top level traders. And it's like, I want to be better than them even. Yeah. You know, you have a 100K day, I want to have a 200K day. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's just terms of wanting more and wanting, you know, trying to be the best you can in a craft, in a field. Yeah. You know, so it's like, you know, keep that mindset, you know, whatever motivates you, have that discipline, and you're going to see the success no matter what. It's just, you know, and, you know, based on like the laws of manifestation, whatever, based on the laws of destiny, it will come to you if you want it bad enough. You're putting in the work. You know, 100%.
I love this conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. Okay, so now we've spoken a little bit about the mindset, the psychology side. Are we okay to get into your trading? Ask you for sure. About that. You can show.
I can definitely give some pointers. Yeah, I can give some tips, give some information on, you know, how to elevate your trading.
Okay, great.
Let's see here. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, if you want to share your screen. While you're doing that, what would you say is your strategy? Like, would you say your
Yeah.
Intraday trader, scalper, more of a swing trader?
So I have I have a a couple of strategies, but this one is you can kind of it's price action based. I would say I'm
Okay.
more intraday into swing, right? It's
Okay.
just it depends. But yeah, this is more like a swing strategy, right?
Okay.
And I when I see the setup, I always take it. It's amazing. So it's basically see the thing is too is like you guys overcomplicate things like a lot, right? You don't need anything too crazy. Really, all you need is supply and demand. That's all you need.
Preach.
It's just supply and demand, and it's but the thing is like people just don't understand of how to navigate and combine the supply and demand with other things to make themselves profitable, right?
Yeah.
They don't mark their supply demand zones correctly. So number one thing is like obviously you want to be able to identify a macro trend. So I don't know if I told you this, but I only trade gold. I specialize in gold, so I
Okay.
only trade one pair. I
Okay.
only trade one pair. That's why
Me
I know I
too.
see success as well because I'm a I would say is yeah exactly people who are specialists in a pair, right? It's way better than having like five different pairs at one time.
I agree.
You know,
I
so
agree.
I mean, we see gold as an uptrend, right? Even from before, it's just it's just even on the weekly, monthly, just uptrend, super bullish, right? Right. And if we look right here, I mean, obviously, it's good to have that macro trend, right? Because based on how the orders are going to react. But for me, is like I really just go on the 4 hour and 1 hour and just mark my supply demand zone. That's all you really
Okay.
need to do. So literally, for example, we're on the 4 hour right here. Let's see. So basically, for like basic, right? You draw a demand zone right here. Boom, where these wicks are,
Mhm.
right? Price comes here, taps in, goes up. Same thing up here, right? You have a nice little zone up here, right? Wicks above, comes in, goes down. All it is, right? But the main thing is what people fail to understand is they just haphazardly, like when price is coming to a point, they just enter, right? And then they put their stop loss super tight, and then they get stopped, and then price goes up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The main thing is you need some type of confirmation on a lower time frame or whatever it is, right? So once I have these zones marked out, right? Let's see if we can draw some more here, and then maybe we can draw like right here, right? So once I have these zones marked out, all I literally do is I just go to like a lower time frame, like I go to like the 30-minute, 15-minute, 5 minute, right? And I just wait for just confirmation in terms of the candles, excuse me,
Okay.
the candles. So literally, like if price comes to here, right? Like I'm not gonna just immediately enter. Like if we were at this point in time, let's see if I can. If we were in this point in time, right? Right, price is coming here. Just because it's in this zone, I'm not gonna just like randomly come in here like this and then do a trade like this. This is stupid,
Okay.
right? That's how you get stopped out. This is dumb, right? You want to wait, obviously, for the candles to show that it's having some type of reversal momentum in alignment with your zone. So for example, right, this 30-minute, we can even go down. Yeah, let's just do 30-minute for now, right? 30-minute, right? It's these candles are printing bearish. We want some type of doji confirmation. Are you familiar with doji confirmation?
Yeah.
Like doji candles? Exactly. So you need some type of doji confirmation, right? And then you would just obviously just wait, and then this candle is showing that it's bullish. Let's see the next candle. Oh, okay, this could be your entry now, like right here. So
Okay.
you can just put your trade like this, target the next zone, go for like a 1 to 2, right? I always preach that, like going for 1 to 2 or even higher RR. And then that's all it is. Boom. And
Okay.
then it just plays out.
Love
So,
that.
and obviously the risk management is super key. Like as I make more, I risk more. That's how you see
Okay.
those compounding percents, right? So
Yeah.
when I'm up like 4%, I'll risk 2%. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Or if when I'm up 6%, then I'll say just keeping it 2%, 3%, whatever. And then that's just how
Yeah.
you compound those gains, right?
Okay.
It's really just about building a system, right? On how your strategy works. So I urge you guys, right? Just go to the higher time frames, mark your supply demand zones out, go on the lower time frames and look for some type of confirmation, and then just build a strategy around that. And that's all you need. Like seriously, focus on one pair, learn how to refine your zones even better. Like we could even refine this. We can go to the 1 hour, right? We can even maybe refine this like this, right? And then just rinse and repeat. That's all it is.
Love that. And it's so simple.
So simple. You don't have any crazy EMAs, RSI, stochastic, MACD. And it's not to say that you can't use those things. Like, I mean, I have the RSI here. It definitely gives some context, right? But you
Okay.
shouldn't be, just because RSI reaches a certain point, you shouldn't be trying to buy or sell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because if it was that simple, everyone would be a millionaire. You know what I mean? So it's
100%.
just like, and that's how, beginner traders think. They'll see, oh, RSI is at 75, RSI is at, this point, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to buy, I'm going to sell. That's literally how you lose every single trade.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you really think like a hedge fund or like a bank, like a super big firm like JP Morgan, Charles Schwab, whatever. You think they're like, oh, sell at this RSI level, right? Price got to this point, sell here. Or RSI got to this level, sell here. They're not doing that, right? Umar, that's a quote that's an example I use. Umar Ashraf, right? He's a very
Yeah.
eight-figure options trader. He says that, right? So it's like same thing, right? So really, you don't need anything too crazy. But it's really about that price action, and the data is going to be in the candles. Because if you even think about it, right, the indicators derive their data from the candles, right? So, if it's coming from the candles, all you need is the candles to make a profitable system,
Yeah, I love that.
And
I
after
love
that,
that.
it's just, you just keep doing it, rinse and repeating, and yeah, super cool.
Yeah, I love that. And you know what, it just goes to show that trading, it really doesn't take much. Like the whole technical aspect, it doesn't need to be too technical.
It
Like
doesn't, it really
it,
doesn't.
it really literally is just a case of support and resistance, supply and demand, whatever you call it. It just is what it is, and you can call it all the fancy names under the sun, but support and resistance is pretty much all you need.
Oh, 100%. And I'm sure, there are different systems to trade. I'm not saying that, supply demand is, I mean, that's what, in my opinion, that is what you really need, but it's like, I'm not going to bash someone
I
else's system if
agree.
it works for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have people
100%.
trade, exactly, like ICT, SMC, you have, like fractals. I see that's a new thing coming. It's
I
crazy
haven't
stuff.
heard of that one.
Yeah, it's weird. It's in the space. I don't even know. It's called check it out, fractals. I don't know.
Fractal. Okay,
But
I'll have a look at that.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's super simple, right? Like, it's you don't need to be like a rocket scientist to figure this out. And then it's just creating a risk management system, learning the parameters of your strategy, and then yeah,
Yeah,
that's all it is.
yeah.
So
I love that.
yeah.
Is there any particular session that you trade? So London,
Yeah, so that's the beauty about trading. I view it. I don't view the sessions as like okay, this is London, this is Asian, this is New York Open, right? I view it as kind of like a dynamic system
okay.
because regardless of session, the setups will happen regardless of the session. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for what I'll do is I'll set like let me give you an example. Let me just remove all of these. If prices, let's say, coming to this area right here, let's say prices up here, right? Prices up here.
Mhm.
All right. And then this is our demand zone that we want to monitor, right? All you literally do is put an alert on TradingView, right? I can't show you right here, but you press this plus and it says set alert, and then you just don't walk away from the charts. It's super easy. And then once your alert triggers, then you can monitor what it's going to do in that zone. Then that's when you have to sit in your chair and be like, okay, like what is price going to do? But all it is set your supply demand zones, put alerts when it's going to reach, right? And then just monitor it after that. Super
Yeah.
easy, you know?
Yeah. And it literally is that easy. But when I feel like for traders, especially newbies,
Yeah,
you want that thrill. You want to be in the trade. So
for
actually
sure.
setting that and stepping away from the charts, when you say it like that, it sounds so easy. But
Yeah.
actually putting that into practice, that's a whole other mental game in itself. Just being able to step away and wait for that alert.
100%. Because if you told me, if I was a beginner, right, I'm sure people who are watching this video are, they want to learn how to be a better trader.
100%,
Like
yeah.
you could, like, literally, like, for me, like I would be like, oh my god, this is the hardest thing ever. You know what I mean? It would, but it's also that psychological aspect. It's because I've mastered that psychology, right?
Yeah.
And if you have that psychology mastered, you're able to not have that emotional connection. You're just able to look at things from a purely logical perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't have to worry if price does X, Y, or Z when I know that if all it has to do is come to the zone, I
Mhm.
wait and then wait for the confirmation, then buy 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, whatever it
100%.
is, I make money, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So 100%, 100%, people do make it complicated, more complicated than they need it to be. But yeah, that's all you really need in my opinion. So
Yeah, no, I agree, and I love that. I love that it's just so simple and literally just straight to the point. So, like you said, you spoke about your risk management. Let's say you just started a new account. So obviously for a lot of people that are watching now, they're probably on challenges right now. What would you advise them in terms of risk management, in getting across the line that first profitable trade?
for
Because for
sure, for
me,
sure.
I think that's probably the hardest part, because once you've got that little buffer of profit, everything else after that is a little bit easier. What would you
Definitely, I
say
can
the
give some
risk
good advice on
management
that.
would be for that, and then also managing the rest of the account once you have that?
100%. I'm gonna give some really good advice to you guys now, or to people watching this, right? So, obviously, I'm gonna talk about phase one, phase two, and a funded account because it's all radically different in my opinion.
It's
Okay,
completely different.
so
I agree.
it's completely different, right? So obviously, I'm gonna talk from the beginner trader. I'm not gonna talk at a point of like where people are experienced, right?
Okay.
If you are first, I'm sure you're first getting your challenge account. You're wanting to pass it. You've never made a profit before. You've never gotten a payout, right? This is your first time, right? Or a couple few times you've maybe failed. You're really at that starting level. Okay, your goal is at that beginner stages, you want to treat phase one and phase two similarly in terms of you need to risk low. Okay. The good thing about bespoke funding is you have no time limit. You have no obligation to be
Yeah.
on the charts for whatever. And that's what's so amazing about bespoke, right? I used to, I personally think like a time limit is necessary for other reasons, but the only reason that I would say it isn't necessary is because some people have a life outside of trading, right? They have that 9 to 5. they have other obligations, they're not able to sit in the charts 24/7, and having that, 30-day pressure will really, ruin, some people's chances. Right. So I definitely think, looking at it from this perspective, I definitely agree. Like having a no time limit does take a lot of stress off on, on people. But your goal is to think about it this way. If you risk, let's say you're doing the trader's choice with Bespoke, right? 8% drawdown, you have 1 to 100 leverage. If you trade 1%, if you have risk 1%, right? Say you lose 8 trades in a row, you've blown your account. Only 8 trades. You know how easy it is to lose, 8, 10 trades in a row, right? So think about it that way. If you now cut the risk in half to 0.5%, now you have 16 trades you can lose in a row. You have that 16 trade buffer, right? And then you cut it again. Now you have 32 trades, right? If you have 0.25% risk. So my recommendation is take it slow. You have literally no time limit with Bespoke, right? Take it slow. Risk 0.25% at the start, no matter what. Even on my life fund accounts, I'm gonna get to this later, but I only risk 0.25%. Only risk 0.25%. And then slowly, once you start hitting winners, you start growing your equity curve, right? To 2, 3, 4%. Then increase the risk to about 0.5%, maybe 1%. And then, you only did about that 8% profit target. And then eventually it's just gonna, click, and then you're gonna hit that, 8%, pretty fairly quickly, right? And that's all it is. Just risk low, be smart. Don't come from a gambler mentality. Take it slow. Okay. Now, phase 2 is also called the verification, and this is where as an experienced trader, right? It's a bit different from the beginner trader, but this is where this is where I would say is like the verification is designed to be unified, right? You don't want to risk too crazy on the verification because it's like you've already passed the phase 1. You're one step to the funded. Don't try to be a degenerate and risk it all and then lose the verification, right? Because it's literally called verification for a purpose. They want to make sure that you know what you're doing. You're not doing some BS, right? And you're an actual legit trader, right? So again, if anything, if you want to risk 0.5%, 1% from the get-go on phase 1, if anything, minimum you have to risk 0.25 on the verification, no matter what. Because again, this is a lower profit target, so you're going to be in no rush to have that extra 3%. So it's even lower, right? So it's like so risk low, 0.25%, slowly scale it up to 0.5, 1%, be smooth about it. And then once you get your funded, this is the most critical thing. I know a lot about the statistics, but once you pass phase 2 and get the funded account, you have to literally like manage your account in terms of again, low risk, being not being a degenerate. Because think about it, I don't know if you know the statistics, but like people when they get the funded account, like I'm pretty sure it's like 70% bloat on the first day,
I think
or
it's
something
more.
on the second day,
Yeah.
even more. Because the mentality is once you get the funded account, you're gonna be like, okay, now I'm gonna get rich quick. This is my time to be a millionaire. I'm gonna make 30, 40K. And then all it is you keep losing, and you're screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you get the funded account, my goal was I'm going to make 3 to 4%, lock in the money, and not touch the account. So that should be your goal at the start, because you want to get the refund and you want to get some type of small payout to kind of boost your mental and kind of make you realize, like, listen, this money is legit. I can actually do this. I'm now it's just scalability. So make that 3-4%, lock in the money, don't touch your account, and then you're set. That's how you make money in this game. This is all it is.
And you're risk free then as well, because you've had your refund. So you've got
now you're risk free. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's all it is. And like once your goal is as a trader, obviously to get more capital, like you can just keep rinsing that money back into challenges and just keep scaling.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's really, looking at it from my perspective now, it's really not that hard in terms of, it's not that, you look at it and you're like, okay, it's pretty easy, right? But it's like going through the steps, I can say like, I was not thinking like, I was like, oh my God, I'm stressed out. I need to make the money. And then at some point when it clicked, at my clicking point, right, my profitability point, then I was like, I calmed down. I was like, okay, just follow the system, be smart about this, don't be stupid. And then it just clicked from there. And that's the thing with you guys. Like if you just do the same exact thing, be low risk, treat this as not a business, but treat this as just like intelligently, right? You're here to make money. You're not here to like boast, right? So it's like, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And if the numbers come naturally, that's great. Then that's amazing. Now you have a good 10% on your account, 20%, whatever. And it's like the numbers came in, you're at the high level, you maybe got the leaderboard, and it's like, it's great. But it's like, that should not be your goal though, right? Being on those like leaderboards, whatever, like in general, is just not sustainable, because
I'm so happy that you said that. I'm so happy you said that. Sure. Because it's not sustainable. Like you may have that amazing month where, you make 15, 20%, but if you go into the next month with that mindset of, wow, I did that last month, so I can do that this month, that is a sure way to also blow an account, because the mental, it just doesn't work.
100%. And a big thing too is like dealing with trading while in drawdown versus being in profit is completely different.
It's so
Your
hard.
psychology when in drawdown, because it's like as humans, we're attached to the number. You see that negative sign on your MT4, you're like, oh my god, like it's horrible.
Yeah.
Versus you see that positive sign, you're like, oh, I'm happy. I'm gonna go, buy some designer clothes,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. And it's like, you know what I mean? The mindset's very different. So it's like it really just takes experience, and just all it is again experience. Like, right, like again, just give yourself time. Like once you're gonna look at yourself 5 years from now, once you become profitable, you're gonna be like, wow, like I really wasn't that, like I can't believe I thought like that. You know what I mean?
Literally.
It's like it's just, it's crazy.
I can't believe
so
I
it's just
traded like that.
yeah, exactly. I can't believe I traded like that. So it's really, again, it's just really just dealing with the psychological aspect when drawn. It just comes with experience, right?
100%.
But as a beginner trader, it definitely does affect you in a negative way, right? So your goal should be risking as little as possible, not going from that gambler mentality, trying to minimize your drawdown so you can have that good mental and just keep slowly just building into your profit target, because you have no time limit, right? So you have no excuse, right? At that point. So
no,
sure.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So before we go, I just want to ask you, how was your personal experience with Bespoke, and would you
oh my god, 100% I recommend Bespoke. Like I said, like in terms of in my eyes right now, you guys are already a top 2 firm in my opinion. It's really hard. I'm saying you guys are amazing, especially like I said, Max and Kaylor, shout out to them again. Like they do such a good job with the community and answering everyone's questions, right? Like you don't see, like FTMO, for example, you don't see FTMO having a Discord community helping their their traders, whatever. It's like, and that's the thing, like you have to learn how to evolve and adapt in this industry, and that's exactly what Bespoke is doing. No other firm is giving you what Bespoke is giving. I'm sorry, like it's just how it is. Right? No time limit, instant phase 2 credentials, right? High leverage, 1-to-100, even on commodities, right? Which is what gold is, right? High leverage, right? It's just even the pay, I mean, okay, 1 month payout time, but I think they're in the works of making that 2 weeks, which is gonna be kind of cool. But it's 80% profits, but it's so good. It's all for, I don't know if you guys, I mean, the word bespoke is meant to be like for a certain demographic. So it's like 100%. Bespoke, right? Like I'm sure that's where they go. Like it's for the trader. Like it's literally why it's designed for the trader. So I mean, even regardless of that, just the whole challenge process, just going through everything, it's just, it's very top tier right now. I've already dropped my review on Trustpilot. All the support, everything, so far, right? I'm gonna drop another one once I get the payout. But it's amazing customer service, just an amazing firm for sure. And I mean, if you just look at the statistics, right, from a web page, I think Bespoke had the highest percentage gain in traffic, I think, like last month. It did, so it was like 300%. It was like, oh my god, like that's insane. You're not seeing that. So for sure. And that's why I'm with you guys. Like I decided for Bespoke to be my second firm, because it's just like I saw the potential. Like I did my research. You just look at it from a factual perspective, it's just insane.
Literally.
So I hope Bespoke keeps going at the rate that they're going. I can't wait to see what's in store for Bespoke, and I can't I can't recommend them enough. They're amazing.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. For sure.
Okay, so we will wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure.
But the final question. So this is going to be something that we're going to be doing at the end of every interview.
Oh, okay.
So we need you. I'm going to ask you the first question, and then after that, we need you to give a question for the next guest.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. Okay,
so my question for you is, because we've spoke a lot on the personal development, the mental side, what is the number 1 book for you that you would recommend to anyone that doesn't even have to be a trader, someone that just wants more from life, is ambitious, is driven? What is the 1 book that you would recommend?
That's a really good question. Oh my gosh. I mean, I have my list of books right there. But if I had to give one, I don't want to give like a cliche book like Rich Dad Poor Dad, because everyone's Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 4-Hour Work Week's a good one. Oh gosh, give me a second here. 48 Laws of Power, obviously, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, let me answer. I'm gonna give 2 demographics. So for the trader, I definitely feel like this will make you profitable. This has been my favorite book to date so far. But this is insane. This book is just so amazing. I would say Think and Grow Rich, probably by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich for sure. I mean, you can't beat that book. In terms of
it's just the holy grail.
It is. It really is. It's in terms of mindset, really elevating as a person. You really look at finances and just money from a different perspective than most people. I would also say The Intelligent Investor.
Yeah.
Two pick between one of those books, but you will not you will not go wrong with any of those books.
Yeah, I actually,
All right.
I've picked up the intelligent. I've got it behind me. I've picked up the Intelligent Investor so
Yeah.
many times, and I
Oh
just
wow.
I can't get past. Like, I just can't get into it. It seems like it's
Yeah,
such a hard read.
for sure.
But yeah, that's definitely something that I'm gonna have to
Yeah, it's definitely
into.
word heavy, but it's like that's why I said like the top two, like in terms of personality. Like if you like Intelligent Investor more, Thinking Grow Rich, but Thinking Grow Rich for sure is like it'll change your mindset completely. I see you
Yeah,
have Mastery.
100%.
I see you have Mastery in the back by Robert Greene as well. Very good book as well. That's very good.
Yeah, I'm 48
You know,
Laws of
I'm
Power.
yeah, exactly. I'd actually want to pick that up eventually.
Yeah,
But I'm thinking for the next person. I mean, do you guys have the next interview like already set up or?
no, not that I know of.
Oh, okay. So let me think of a good question because like I thought maybe some background of the next person, but I would say maybe for the question that I want to give to the next person is like
Love that.
that's gonna be my question. So
Love that. Well, thank you so much for being our first guest, and not only that, but
thank you.
giving such a great conversation as well. I really genuinely enjoyed having this conversation.
No, I really did as well,
yeah.
Madison. Thank you so much. And again, shout out to Max and Kaylor as well. They're doing so much, and having you to do the interviews. You're very bright personality. So I thank you so much for asking the questions. I definitely enjoyed it as well, and I really, like I said, like in my review that I dropped on Trustpilot, I said like the infinite potential of Bespoke, and it's completely true. Like I really can't wait to see what Bespoke is doing because there's just so many different things that they can do and add to their add to the firm that other firms are not doing. So I'm just super excited to see where this is going to go. And I hope I really do want to again bring value to the firm, keep getting those high payouts, keep making sure they can make good money for themselves at the end of the day, and we'll see where that goes.
Giving back.
Giving back, exactly.
No, I love that.
Is there anything else you want to touch on or?
No, I think that's everything. I think
Awesome.
I'll just wrap it up and then
Perfect.
Okay. So yes, guys, so that brings us to the end now. I hope you enjoyed the very first interview. And yeah, we will catch you the next time with another interview.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.